Welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Marvel Talk, a series where we talk about Marvel, if you couldn't guess. And for the very first episode, we're going to be talking about, well, basically the future of the Fox Marvel universe, which obviously is not going to be around for too much longer, now is it? Now, actually, this is a very perfect time to actually talk about it, because there was just an investor meeting, or an investor call, or whatever you want to call it, with Disney, Bob Iger, and whatnot. And actually, they talked about a few interesting things. One, and this is the biggest one, he did confirm again that yes, Deadpool will stay rated R. Everyone, I know people are like, oh yeah, he's just saying that to shut up the fans. He's not actually going to do it. Well, because here's the thing, that he said that back in 2017 when the deal was first announced, and he said that, and I was like, see? Problem solved. He's going to stay rated R. But because of Once Upon a Deadpool, everyone was saying, see, look, Disney's already forcing Fox to make him PG-13 so they can see if PG-13 will actually work. And Once Upon a Deadpool did not do well. But at the same time, though, it was never intended to be the PG-13 whatever that everyone makes it out to be. Now, it is PG-13, but it's done that, obviously as a joke. It's Deadpool. They make fun of how it's PG-13 all throughout the entire thing. Heck, on the Blu-ray box, it literally says, Inglorious PG-13. Like, it's a joke. And it was supposed to be nothing more than that. And, of course, a way to, raise awareness and support for, like cancer. Or I think it's a type of cancer. I would have to check. But, yeah, cancer. And it was and like you would support fudge cancer. You get it? PG-13 fudge cancer. I think you get the point. It had nothing to do with Disney wanting to PG-13ify Deadpool. Like, come on. Besides, they couldn't do it even if they wanted to, because right now Disney has no control over Fox. Right now, they cannot, like, Fox does not have to listen to anything Disney says. So yeah, it's like come on, like that. Once Upon a Deadpool had nothing to do with, making him more MCU friendly or whatever. Okay, bottom line, Deadpool is staying rated R, and this is even more interesting. He said that they also are considering / on the way other rated R Marvel projects. This, of course, this actually makes a little too much sense, considering that recently Black Widow's standalone movie is heavily rumored to be rated R. The first MCU movie, though, with that moniker, which makes sense because of her backstory, of just, the kind of backstory she has. You can only really explain that properly with a rated R. And obviously Deadpool has proven to Marvel that, hey, rated R comic book movies... Oh, Deadpool and Logan. Even though they didn't make Deadpool and Logan, of course, that was me by. Ugh. I'm sorry about the stuttering, but I haven't done one of these in a while, so it's probably not going to sound too great. But obviously, they saw how Fox made not one, not two, but 3 successful R-rated comic book movies, and they were very successful, especially Deadpool. Like, Deadpool 1 and 2 made over $700 million. That's with a rated R. They are the highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. And if an R-rated movie can make that much, that's a signal to both Marvel and Disney that, hey, we can make a rated R movie and do the movies the way people want us to do it, and they'll make money. It's a win-win scenario, and it's very obvious that Bob Iger has not only seen the financial return on rated R comic book movies, but also that the fans have made it clear, we don't want PG-13 Deadpool. And I think that is a good sign for the future of the MCU right there. That an R rating is something that is going to be happening. At the very least for Deadpool, but also it looks like Black Widow and maybe even some other movies down the line are going to have it as well. If we ever get to the point where the MCU wants to do their own standalone Wolverine movie, like 5-10 years down the line, who knows? Or what other characters, Marvel has a ton of characters to work with. And obviously if they're Daredevil, stuff like that, there's a lot of things that can be rated R that I think would work really well. So, that is Deadpool, and so obviously Deadpool, I think I might have went off course when I was talking about the whole rated R thing, but, because what does that have to do with the Fox Marvel stuff? Well, obviously Deadpool 3 is not happening at Fox. I think that's pretty safe to say at this point, although Ryan Reynolds did say about a week ago that it's in development, but I'm going to put money on that it's not going to last that much longer. It'll probably be dead by the end of the year. Well, dead by the end of the year, at least at Fox. I think Marvel is either going to move that to, Marvel Studios, or it'll just be canned. X-Force, we know officially is canned, which, no surprise there. Also, there's other movies that are in development, like Doctor Doom. I think that was also canned recently. And if it's not canned by now, come on, like any of those movies that are like years down the line that Fox has planned are dead. Whether they are officially dead like X-Force or not like Doctor Doom. I don't remember, is Doctor Doom canceled? I think I remember seeing a video the other day that said it was canceled like a week or so ago, but if it's not canceled, then it's going to be canceled by the end of the year. But what is going to be happening? Now, it is possible that Deadpool 3 could still happen, whether it's at Fox or at Marvel. But that's the only one that isn't 100% done, pretty much. That has a possibility. Everything else is going to get canned. X-Force, already canned. Doctor Doom, canned. I know there's some other stuff they had in development. I don't remember what it was, but I know they had some other things that they were talking about. Anything else is going to get canned. That's pretty obvious. But what about Dark Phoenix and New Mutants? Now, Dark Phoenix, I think it's safe to say at this point, it's coming out. Even though it's going to be coming out in June of 2019. So yeah, like 4 months from now. And by then the deal will most likely be 100% done. It is coming out. Not even a question. Because Disney has already committed to release any Fox movies that are already done or close to being done. Or they're already deep into production. Which is why I said that any of those other Marvel movies that aren't like done, at least in terms of shooting, those ones are not going anywhere. But the ones that are, like Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, we're going to talk about New Mutants in a second. Dark Phoenix is done. It's very obvious the movie is done. It's probably in post-production now, just doing a couple, just a couple changes. But the movie is done. They've already started marketing it. Not that much, probably because even Fox knows that there's not really a point in marketing it, because this is going to be the last movie in this 20-year franchise, and that not many people are super interested in it. I know there's people out there that are hyped for Dark Phoenix, and if you are, then good for you, but a lot of people lost interest in this movie the second that the Fox deal was announced, because we're like, oh, well, this is going to be the last one, which means there's nothing to look forward to with this franchise. Whatever they try to hype up as like the future of the X-Men franchise won't matter, because the franchise is going to be dead with this one movie. The 20-year-long X-Men film franchise under Fox is going to die with this movie. Whether the movie is good or not, and so far it does not look like it's going to be good, but even if the movie is good, or at the very least passable, or whatever, no matter if it's the worst X-Men movie ever made, or the best X-Men movie ever made, it doesn't matter. Because this movie is the end of this franchise. New Mutants, on the other hand, is different, because I don't know how connected New Mutants is to the rest of the X-Men universe that Fox has created. We know that Deadpool is connected to it, but very loosely. And obviously there's a lot of, fourth wall breaking thing, like in the first movie, there's the whole, Stewart or McAvoy, that kind of stuff. Like, it's very obviously, like, it's in the same universe. There's obviously references and cameos, like, for example, in Deadpool 2, there's that scene where they have, like, the class, I think it's from X-Men First Class or whatever. I haven't watched any of the X-Men movies, so I don't really have any way of confirming that, but, like, actually, it might be a clip from Dark Phoenix. I don't know, like, there's references and cameos and stuff to the X-Men universe and Deadpool movies, and also, of course, there's Logan, which Logan is more strongly set in the MCU than, say, Deadpool is, in the MCU, in the Fox world, than the others are, but at the same time, there still really isn't that much. I mean, like, obviously, there's, Patrick Stewart, I think it's Patrick Stewart, and of course, Hugh Jackman and all that. Like, it's obviously an X-Men movie more so than Deadpool, but okay, I'm getting off tangent. Point is, I don't know where or when New Mutants is set. I don't know if it's a part of the timeline or not, but at this point, it doesn't matter because the timeline's about to end. But here's the main question. Is it coming out? Most likely. We don't have a trailer. Actually, no, we did. We did get a show. I can't talk right now. Actually, we did get a trailer last year, I believe. But that's been it. We haven't gotten much of any new information on it other than it's not canceled. which isn't exactly the best sign for the movie, but I do genuinely believe that's going to release. Maybe it'll come out in 2020 or whatever, but it's going to happen. I think it's safe to say that movie is indeed coming out, even if it takes them a while. Which is fine, honestly, although at the same time I wonder if it's really not... I really wonder if that's gonna not work too well for them, because here's the thing. Dark Phoenix, while it's a movie that a lot of people don't care about at this point, it's still an X-Men movie. People are going to see it for whatever, whether it's they just want to see how it all ends or whatever. Like, people are going to see it, and that's fine. But Dark Phoenix, not Dark Phoenix. New Mutants, however, is not connected to the rest of the universe, and that will be the definitive last movie. So I don't know if people are really going to want to go and see it. Obviously, people are going to see it, but I don't think it's going to do as well as it could have done pre-merger. If New Mutants released when Fox was still by itself, okay, what I should be saying is, if this merger never happened, like it was never announced, like if this deal was never happened whatsoever, then I think New Mutants would have had a good shot. But since it's going to be releasing in the post-merger world where no one's really going to care about the Fox X-Men universe anymore because, it's going to be rebooted in a couple years, and it's going to be the last movie. Like, Dark Phoenix is going to be the last main movie, but New Mutants is going to be the last movie, period. It's going to be the last Fox X-Men whatever related movie that they release, since we know that X-Force and Doctor Doom and all the other stuff is not happening. And Deadpool 3 might happen, but that's not really connected to the X-Men universe too much. Let's be real here. If we had Deadpool 3, it's going to have a ton of references to, hey, look, we're part of Disney now. Look, I'm in the MCU. Look, here's Captain America. Here's whatever. Okay, they probably won't go that far. But you get my point, right? Like, Deadpool 3, it doesn't even have, like, they could very easily be like, hey, look, I'm in the MCU now. Look over here, there's the Avengers Tower. Look over here, there's all that stuff. Like, actually, no, wait. They can't say Avengers Tower because Avengers Tower doesn't exist anymore, as we all know. And Homecoming, they sold it to, who knows, everyone's been speculating, is it going to be the Baxter Building? Is it going to be Oscorp? Well, whatever it ends up being. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe they'll show it in Far From Home. I mean, there is a shot in the trailer that shows, Peter swinging around right in front of the tower where they're renovating it. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get to see if it is indeed Oscorp or the Baxter Building in Far From Home. Although, here's the thing. If they've already decided on what it's going to be, then we're going to see in Far From Home. And if we are going to see in Far From Home, then I think it's going to be Oscorp, because they actually have the rights to that already, because, it's Spider-Man. And obviously, Marvel doesn't own the rights to Spider-Man for the movies yet. They're just, sharing it with Sony, who may or may not take it back after Far From Home. As we all know, the contract expires, or the deal expires, after Far From Home, but that's another video for another day that I will be doing, but, that's for another time. But, yeah, like, whether it's going to be the back, but, like, basically, here's the thing. If they don't show who owns it in Far From Home, and it's just, like, a cameo, like, oh, look, here's the tower, and it's being renovated, and that's it, and they don't show a logo or anything, then maybe it's the Baxter Building. If they do show it at all, I think it'll be Oscorp. But once again, different video, different day. I'm getting off topic again. Deadpool could very easily be set. They could just be like, oh, it's in the MCU now. I mean, they probably won't do that. I don't think they're going to jump the shark that much. But they could do it if they wanted to. Okay, jumping the shark isn't the right term. But they're not going to go that far, I think. They'll just, like, make jokes about, hey, look, we're owned by Disney now, and stuff like that. And whatnot. But that's really about it. Like, they don't, like, basically Deadpool isn't tied down to the main X-Men universe that much. And even if they did cancel Deadpool 3, which I still think there's a good chance of that happening, it could happen under Fox, but I'm not betting on it. My bet is they're going to cancel it and they're going to move Deadpool over to the MCU. Still be R-rated, just like Bob Iger said. I don't think there's any doubt anymore that it's staying R-rated, but I think it's safe to say that it's probably not happening at Fox, because it's just gone to development. I mean, they just did Deadpool 2 and Once Upon a Deadpool. You really think they're going to have footage for a Deadpool 3 already? No, they're probably just writing the script right now. And if they're just writing the script, then it's not going to happen, because by the time that script is finished, it's going to be literally right as the merger is finished, or it won't even be done by then. So, yeah, I'm not betting on Deadpool 3 happening at Fox. Most likely it'll be canned, and they'll just move Deadpool over to the MCU. Once again, R-rated, all that stuff, but it's going to be in the MCU now. Probably loosely connected in a similar vein to the TV shows up to this point, where it's mostly like disconnected. Like, it's a part of it, but it doesn't really have that much to do with the rest of the MCU. Then again, those are the TV shows, and I already know the whole situation with, Marvel Television doesn't really have the hookups to Marvel Studios that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter did. Those shows are very obviously connected to the MCU, especially Agent Carter. I mean, do I even have to say anything? It has Peggy Carter in it. It's from the MCU. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has Phil Coulson, all that stuff. They've had cameos, but with Lady Sif, and they've referenced the greater MCU more than the Netflix shows ever have. But, the Netflix universe is obviously about to come to a close, so there's not really much to say on that front. Now, speaking of Deadpool 3, or just the future of Deadpool as a whole, we gotta answer the biggest question, and that's not if it was gonna be rated R, because I knew from the beginning, even before Bob Iger back in December 2017 said, oh yeah, he's gonna stay rated R. Even before he said that, I knew it was gonna be rated R. That was not the question. The real question was, are Marvel going to recast him? We've heard, I don't know if this was in the, no, it wasn't in that, but it's been heavily rumored that Disney/Marvel is gonna be recasting the X-Men, their X-Men cast, and specifically they're gonna recast Wolverine, which all I have to say about that is no duh. Of course they're gonna recast them. Specifically Wolverine, I mean, yes, we would all love Hugh Jackman in the MCU, even just for a cameo, but here's the thing. Hugh Jackman is not going to be forced out of the role. He's already willingly and on his own terms, he's done with the role. And it's not that he hates Wolverine, it's not because of Fox or whatever, it's because he decided that, I should end it right here on a high note. And he ended on Logan, which I think we can all agree was a high note to go out on. And that it was, in many people's eyes, Logan is the true end of the Fox X-Men universe. And it's not going to be Dark Phoenix or New Mutants, but it is what it is. And basically Hugh Jackman has decided to willingly end his role because he wanted to go out on a good note, and I respect him for that, for wanting to go out on a good note. So of course he's going to be recast. Obviously he's going to be recast. That's not the question. The question is Deadpool going to be recast? Because he's the one character that I think we can all agree on cannot be recast. Now, here's the thing. There is no way they can recast Ryan Reynolds. And if they do, there will be riots. Did you not see what happened with Sweet Victory when the NFL screwed us all over and didn't actually show it? Did you see what the internet did to the NFL? Did you see what happened? Yeah, it's going to be like that for Ryan Reynolds if Marvel recasts Ryan Reynolds and I don't care how good of a replacement they get. They cannot replace him. It's the same thing as Robert Downey Jr. is with Iron Man. You cannot replace him. He is that character. And if you do replace him, there's going to be riots. And I'll be there. I don't care how good the replacement is and how well you can do Deadpool. You do not recast Ryan Reynolds. You do not. Everyone loves him. There is no reason to get rid of him, and he's the one character that you could easily put into the MCU with no explanation or backstory or anything, and it would work. Marvel, if you're listening to me, and I'm sure you've heard it, I'm sure you've heard it for the last year, but seriously though, I can't talk right now. Do not recast Ryan Reynolds under any circumstance. I do not want to hear it. Do not recast him. The end. Okay, but enough about that. So, oh yeah, did I get off track again? I think I might have gotten off track. I can't talk right now. I think I might have gotten off track again. Once again, sorry. I can't talk right now because I haven't done one of these podcast-styled videos in a long time. They've kind of fallen to the wayside, even though I like doing them. Then again, this is a podcast. It's not supposed to be super scripted. I mean, one of the things about these podcasts is they always get off topic. Have you seen any of the ones from, like, 2017, for example? A lot of them last, like an hour to 2 hours long, and we get off topic really easily. So it's kind of just a natural part of this. This is not supposed to be some scripted news video, after all. But, yeah, what was I saying about New Mutants? I was talking about what? The cat? No, I was no. Oh yeah, is it gonna come out basically? And yeah, it's gonna come out because it's already shot. It's already in the can. It's not as finished as Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is pretty much done, but I think New Mutants will come out. Now there was another question though. Will New Mutants come out in theaters? Because people were asking this about Dark Phoenix. Because Dark Phoenix, I think most people agreed that it was gonna come out, but would it come out in theaters or would it come out on Disney Plus? Now, Dark Phoenix is obviously coming out in theaters. It's very obvious it's coming out in theaters at this point. As it will also be launching in June, which is before the service even launches. But New Mutants, as far as I'm aware of, doesn't actually have a release date yet. I would have to check. If I can look right now. I don't think it has one, but I'll look. Okay, never mind. It does have a release date. August 2nd. Okay. Oh, The New Mutants. Never mind. The New Mutants. Ah, whatever. Oh no, it says The in it. Okay, whatever. So, is that it? Is that all the stuff? Yeah. August 2nd. August 2nd. Okay. So, actually, no. Disney Plus will not be out by then, but it's close enough that I could see it being saved. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to come out in theaters just like Dark Phoenix did, but I don't know. No, it can't come out in on Disney Plus because isn't New Mutants going to be rated R? Now, yes, I know I just talked about Bob Iger saying they would do rated R and everything, but here's the thing. Bob Iger also said that for Disney Plus, it's going to be PG-13 and lower. They're not going to have anything rated R. All the rated R stuff is going to go on Hulu. So, put New Mutants on Hulu? I mean, I guess they could do that, but nah, they're just going to put it in theaters and get it over with and, get the Fox X-Men world out of the way so Kevin Feige and the guys at Marvel Studios can finally, after all this time that I'm sure they have been waiting, to finally start working on bringing the X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and pretty much the rest of the Marvel Universe to the MCU. But, we're going to have to wait on that, unfortunately. Oh, that shouldn't be too much longer. I mean, I know for like the past year, we've all been like, the deal's going to finish, on this date and that date, and it never really seems to happen. But here's the thing. I believe at this point, most of the major countries have already signed, so I think there's not much in the way at this point. As far as I'm aware, there's not any other country. Actually, no, Brazil? No, it's not Brazil. Was it Mexico? I know there was one country that postponed their vote. I think it was to the internet. I'll look. Oh, wait, never mind. Actually, they just talked about this today, actually. Oh, wait, here we go. Yeah, actually, yesterday, Mexico approved the deal. Okay, so never mind. We're good then. We're good then. Never mind. I thought that Mexico was postponing their vote until, like, March. That's what I heard anyway, or something like that. So never mind. Mexico did approve it yesterday, actually. And actually, today during the earnings call, Bob Iger did say that Disney was still waiting on the last few remaining markets. So yeah, there's not much left. There's just a couple markets left, which is probably just some smaller countries and whatnot. But, they have to get approval from everyone. That's the thing. Oh, okay, I should rephrase that. They have to get approval from every market that Disney and Fox already operate in, which is pretty much the entire world, except for maybe, like, Western Sahara or some random island in the middle of nowhere or something. So it sounds like they're mostly there, and now that Mexico has approved of them, they pretty much just have a couple of countries left, and then we should be good. Disney will officially own Fox, and Kevin Feige can start working on some stuff. But yeah, so I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. So yeah, the future of the Fox Marvel world. basically, for anyone that skipped ahead or whatever, basically Deadpool 3 could be happening, but probably won't. And X-Force, Doctor Doom, and anything that's like that hasn't really been doesn't even have a script yet, or is in the script writing phase. Yeah, that's not happening. Dark Phoenix is coming out in June, as we all know, and I do think New Mutants will be coming out in theaters in August as well, assuming they don't push it back. If they push it back again, then it might go on Hulu, because like I said, it won't go on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus is not going to have R-rated material. It's going to be PG-13 and lower. Anything that's Disney/Fox that's rated R, like Alien or Predator, or like anything like that, and of course the, Deadpool, Logan, etc. And hey, if Black Widow does indeed happen and it is indeed rated, well, I mean, Black Widow is happening, we know it is, but if it is indeed rated R, then that's going to go on Hulu and not Disney Plus, because it's R-rated and they're not going to be putting R-rated stuff on Disney Plus. So if New Mutants does not get delayed again, then it's going to come out in theaters just like Dark Phoenix, just like any other movie. But if it does get delayed to like November 2019, which is then maybe, but we'll see. I still think it's going to come out in theaters probably regardless, but yeah. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thank you for anyone that's actually listened to this, for listening. And yeah, this is the first episode of the Marvel Talk. There's definitely going to be a lot more of these, hopefully more coherent and not stuttery and getting off topic. But then again, being off topic is kind of one of the things that we do on these videos. And also in the future, I'd like to have some guests on here, just like I have with my other series on my main channel, the Nincast, which of course, as you can probably guess, is Nintendo related. I've had guests on there before several times, and I'd like to have some guests over on this channel as well, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, enough stalling from me. This is Logan589XP, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys next time.